we are on section 8.6, the last day before the test. We're going to do some finding the vertices, x-intercepts, y-intercepts, and we're going to say if it opens up or down. Let's start with this first one. I'm going to complete the square to find out where the vertice is. So I'm going to subtract the 16 from it, and I'm going to factor out the coefficient in front of the squared term. I'm going to factor the 3 out of the 12 also, leaving me with 4. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 2. So I'm going to add 4 here, but I'm really adding 3 times 4, which is adding 12 to this side. So I'm going to add 12 to the other side. Now I think I'm ready to rewrite it as a binomial squared. So I get 3 times the quantity, square root of the first term, square root of the last term, sign in front of the middle term, quantity squared. And then I'm going to add 4, add 4. So my vertex is at the point negative 2, 4. I know because my A is positive that it opens up. On this other side, we know we're going to find the the x-intercepts when, oh, this is not going to have any x-intercepts. How did I tell? Because if my vertex negative 2, 4 is right there, and it opens up. So we know that it's not going to have any x-intercepts because the vertex is above the x-axis, and it opens up. So there's no x-intercepts. There's a y-intercept at 16. So let's see if we can draw this picture. Here's 2, 4, negative 2, 4 is right there. We'll call that 16, so it'll look something like that. Let's take a look at number 30. Number 30, we have f of x is equal to negative 4x squared plus 8x. We're going to do the same things on this one. Let's start on this side. I'm going to use x equals negative b over 2a on this one. My negative b would be negative 8 over 2 times negative 4, which gives me 1 for my axis of symmetry. If I plug that back in, I get negative 4 times 1 squared plus 8 times 1, which gives me 1 squared is 1, 1 times negative 4 is negative 4, negative 4 plus 8 is 4. So my vertex is at 1, 4. And I know that this opens down because of the negative up here. The factoring, well, our x-intercepts happen when y is equal to 0. I'm going to factor out negative 4x. That's the greatest common factor, leaving me with x minus 2. I know that I'm going to have 0 as a factor because there's an x out here, and 2. And so those are my x-intercepts. My y-intercept, since there's no number back here, it's going to be a 0. And so if I try to graph this thing, 1, 4 is there, y-intercept is there, x-intercept is also there and there. So it's going to go through 0, 0, and there we go. Next one we're going to look at is number 32. 32 says f of x equals x squared plus 4. Since it's already in vertex form, we know that the vertex is going to be at 0, 4, and it's going to open up. Over here, we know this from our factoring days that this is not factorable, so it's not going to have any x-intercepts. Besides, the vertex is at 0, 4, and it opens up, so there's none. My y-intercept is at 4, which is also my vertex, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we basically, after all this stuff, we have 1 point. The way that we get the rest of the shape is, because there's no coefficient here, we'd go over 1, up 1 from the vertex. And then from the vertex, we would go over 2, up 4, because that's our general shape. When the coefficient is 1, it's just over 1, up 1 from the vertex, over 2, up 4 from the vertex. Let's take a look at number 34. And I get f of x is equal to x squared minus x minus 12. I know I don't want to do the completing the square because this is an odd in the middle here, so I'm going to go with x equals negative 1 over 2 times 1, so I get a negative half for my axis of symmetry. When I plug that in, I get negative half squared minus negative half minus 12. Negative half squared is positive 1/4. Two negatives makes a positive half minus 12. So I get, looks like negative 11 and 1/4, which if we change this to an improper fraction, I would get negative 45/4. So I know that my vertex is going to be at negative 1/2, negative 45/4. Yucky. And it's going to open up. To get my x-intercepts, I know my y is equal to 0. This one looks easy enough to factor. Factors of negative 12 that add up to negative 1, I know that negative 4 times positive 3 multiply to give me negative 12, add to give me negative 1. So my zeros, my x-intercepts, are at 4 and negative 3. I know my y-intercept is going to be at whatever that number is, negative 12. So if I was to graph that, I would get negative half, so I'm down here. My x-intercept is at 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Y-intercept, negative 3, 1, 2, 3. And my y-intercept is down here. And I'm going to get, oops, it's a little wide. I'm kind of stacked for room there, but it looks something like that. Next one we're looking at is 36. 36, I have f of x equals 3x squared minus 12x. Again, two terms here, no c term. I'm going to go with negative 12 over 2 times 3, so positive 12 over 6 gives me 2. Plug 2 in, I get 3 times 2 squared minus 12 times 2. 4 times 3 is 12. Negative 12 times 2 is negative 24, so negative 12 is the y value. 2 negative 12 is my vertex. And it opens up. Over here, y or x-intercepts happen when y is equal to 0. I'm going to factor 3x out, leaving me with x minus 4. 0 and 4 are my x-intercepts. My y-intercept is 0. So down here someplace is 2 negative 12. There and there are and let's take a look at 42. 42f of x equals x squared plus 3x minus 18. Again, it's going to be a yucky vertex because it's odd here, so I'm going to go with x equals negative b over 2a, and I get negative 3/2 for my x value of the vertex. Plug it in, I get negative 3/2 squared plus 3 times negative 3/2 minus 18. I get positive 9/4 minus 9/2 minus 18, which gives me negative 18, which is 36, 72. 72 and another 9 gives me negative 81/4. So my vertex would be at negative 3 halves, negative 81 fourths. And then factoring this, I think I can factor it. X-intercepts happen when y is equal to 0. And that's going to factor into x plus 6 and x minus 3, so I get negative 6 and positive 3 are my x-intercepts. My y-intercept is going to be at negative 18. All right, good luck tomorrow.